This is PWF Empire Live.
It's the best thing going today.
The best insight and analysis on the hottest topics in the world of wrestling happens here. From storylines and news to rumors and reviews, we've got the action covered from bell to bell. Presented by PWFempire.com with your hosts, Charlie Feast, Evan Medina, and J-Dub.
Do I have everybody's attention now?
The match starts now.
PWF Empire is live with our WWE Money in the Bank post-show review. Thank you guys for joining us tonight as we're mere minutes removed from the show. We got a lot to discuss. A lot happened on tonight's live event or special event, whatever the hell WWE calls it. Yeah, I think that's what it is. But yeah, I'm Jay, and I'm joined on the hosting panel tonight by my co-host, Evan. What's up?
It is good to be back after an absence earlier this week. Very
yeah, I
good
feel
to
like
be
I
here.
haven't seen you in forever.
It has been.
And it's only been, it hasn't even been that long.
It really hasn't, but it feels like it's been a while. It does. It definitely does. But it's good to be here. Very good. Always.
Yes, and it's great to have you guys with us here as well. Like I said, we're going to be talking about Money in the Bank tonight, and we would love it if you guys join us and do the same. You can do so on the chat on YouTube. You can also do so on a post on pwfempire.com and wherever you may be in the world. You can do so on Twitter with the hashtag PWFEmpire because, as always, the conversation continues on and off air. Let's go ahead and get that conversation started with the Money in the Bank ladder match. If you watched our Money in the Bank preview from a few days ago, you would have noticed that we pretty much said that this is Roman Reigns' match to win. Roman Reigns did not actually win that match, and it was because of interference from Bray Wyatt. We got Sheamus as the Money in the Bank winner. So Sheamus currently is Mr. Money in the Bank. Evan, you weren't on the preview show, but going into Money in the Bank, who did you think was going to win, and what are your thoughts on the fact that Sheamus is actually that guy who turned out to be the winner?
Well, you know, my prediction was Roman Reigns. I always said that if I had a second pick, that it was going to be Sheamus, but I didn't think that second pick was really there. I really expected Roman Reigns to win this match, no question about it.
Yeah, that's a position that I was in too, but it was like Sheamus was in the back of my mind because I didn't think that I was going to need a second pick. So, like, of course, Roman Reigns, but Sheamus, Mr. Money in the Bank, and he won this match, as I said, because it seems as if the match was booked exactly how we all thought it was going to be booked. It was leading Roman Reigns to victory, but Bray Wyatt went ahead and interfered. And I have to say, Roman Reigns himself, he was a highlight of the match for me. I pretty much loved every single thing that he did in this match. The dive over the top rope, power bombing. Who was it? Was it Kofi that he power bombed over the top rope until all of the other competitors?
On to everybody. Yep.
Yeah, then powerbombing Kofi on the ladder, then powerbombing Neville on Kofi, who was on the ladder. All of that shit was insane, and I applaud WWE for having the bravery to book the match to make Roman look strong. You know, because we've had some aversions about things like that happening in the past, but I think the way that they handled this match, it was well done, at least from the Roman Reigns perspective.
Yeah, I agree with that. But, you know, honestly, I kind of have like a mixed reaction for this whole thing. Like, I enjoyed the match. I don't know, like, I want to look forward to Roman Reigns versus Bray Wyatt, but it just screams of not reaching its potential and not actually doing what I want it to do as a feud. Like, it's something that I want to really be looking forward to, but I just don't have that optimism I normally would. Maybe that's just because of all the drop feuds with Wyatt that just haven't gone as well as they should go. But, you know, again, on the surface, it's really nice, and it was a cool spot and moment to have Wyatt interfere like that. I thought that was nice. Something you didn't see coming, but maybe it's all the drop feuds with Bray. But I'm just not looking as forward to it as I would like to be. I guess we'll just let it play out. I'm not saying, oh, this is terrible. I'm just saying that I don't have the positive energy, you know, feeling that I want to have coming out of this. But overall, Sheamus with the win. It was kind of a slow burn type of win, which is almost kind of good for the heel heat for Sheamus in that way. But I don't know. I'm all right with it. I guess we'll see what happens, but I'm just kind of mixed on the whole thing. I don't know. It's not really like I hated it at all. I'm okay with it, but I'm not like going nuts over it.
What about the match itself, though? Because for me, I went on Wikipedia and I checked like the times for the match and everything, and I did not believe that match was actually 20 minutes. Because I can say that I liked Roman Reigns in the match, and Roman Reigns himself, he was a highlight, but replaying the match in my head, there weren't that many highlights for me. I don't know what it is. It seemed as if the match was about 5 or 10 minutes long, and that wasn't that 5 or 10 minutes where it's like, oh my god, it was at such a breakneck speed, and I looked at the match and so much was happening. I felt like it was short because for a lot of the times, nothing was really happening in the match. Like, take Dolph Ziggler, for example. When he jumped back into the ring and I think he mixed it up with Kane, I was like, where the fuck has this dude been? Like, I forgot Dolph Ziggler was even in the match because he wasn't involved in any kind of substantive matter. So even though I liked Roman Reigns in the match himself, I can't really say that this is going to be one of those Money in the Bank matches that is going to be one for the ages. Like, this is one we're going to be talking about next year or, hell, next week probably. Like, this, I don't think that this is going to rank up there at all.
No, definitely did not get up there with some of these other Money in the Bank matches because we have been spoiled with some unbelievably good Money in the Bank matches over the years. So it's hard for some of these to live up to the ones of the past. And I on my own channel was talking about in my predictions of this show that I just wasn't looking forward to the Money in the Bank match in particular the way that I normally do. It's usually one of those matches that you really look forward to because you're excited to see who's going to win and
who's going to get chucked through ladders and
and I just feel like maybe because there were so many events in a short period of time and there wasn't a whole lot of build-up here, and not like the build-up is always great, but I don't know, maybe it's just because there were so many events stacked up and it kind of just came out of, like, a show that was just 2 weeks prior. I don't know, the excitement just wasn't there.
I'm not giving them that. I'm not giving them that at all because with the Money in the Bank match, you don't even really have to build a Money in the Bank match. Just say, shit, here are 7 or 8 people, bam, go. That's it. That's all the build you need for the Money in the Bank. Where the real magic comes is in the match itself. And I felt as if this match kind of lacked that magic a bit. I don't know why, but, well, shit, Roman, he came out of it looking nice. So I guess that's one takeaway. Another takeaway, I need to see Neville and Kofi Kingston in a feud like yesterday. Whatever the hell you got to do to angle those guys towards TLC, getting them in a mid-card feud for in a ladder match or something, like whatever the hell you got to do, whatever road leads you there, I need to see that match because I saw a little brief glimpses of awesomeness between those two guys in the Money in the Bank, and I need to see more.
Yeah, I was left feeling like the match was decent, but it just wasn't as good as some of the other ones in the past. That doesn't mean that it was bad. Again, I wouldn't go that far and say, oh, this was a crappy Money in the Bank match. I don't think it was a crappy Money in the Bank match. I just thought it was decent, but it didn't live up to the level of some of the other ones. And like I said before, we have been spoiled by some unbelievable matches in the past. So your expectation level for the ones to come are very high. You're going to expect a lot. And I don't know. I just felt like the guys were down for a lot of time without really getting back into it. Orton was another one who I was like, oh yeah, Orton's in this match. A couple, like when he came back into the ring, hit a couple of RKOs, I'm like, oh yeah, Randy's in this match too. So I kind of like almost forgot at times. I don't know. It just kind of felt like it was like running in place for a while during the match. So, but Sheamus winning it, I'm not against, but I'm just not like jumping out of my chair for. I don't know. There really wasn't anyone in this that I was going to be like, oh my god, if Neville won, that would have been crazy, but we really weren't expecting anything like that at this point in time. I did like the way that the New Day came out, though, to try to help Kofi. I thought that was pretty awesome.
Yeah, that was good, too. And that's one of those moments where it's like, yeah, it's like, okay, I'll go for that, because shit, I know Kofi Kingston isn't winning. If they want to go for the whole New Day shenanigan, I'll take it, and it was fun. So yeah.
Yep, and with the way yeah, and the way that gimmick is totally made sense. It was cool. That was a good spot. So there was, again, a couple of good spots in here. I think the Wyatt spot was nice too. I'm just a little leery of the feud because we've seen these things that we're excited about and they just don't go the way that they should. They don't even get the proper build, or the build isn't that good, and the matches don't end up being as good as you want them to be. But this is a feud that we have talked about in the past as being a good one for both guys, and it really could be. I just want it to live up to that expectation level, and if it's a 2 pay-per-view feud, that's fine. I mean, that'd be good SummerSlam match, I think, for both guys, but I'm gonna let's see what happens. I'm not gonna, jump on it and say, oh, this is gonna be terrible. I'm just being kind of cautious, proceeding with caution, I guess you could say.
Okay, so here we go. The next match that we're gonna be discussing. I have to calm myself from this because I'm still riding on a high. Nikki Bella goes into Money in the Bank as a Divas champion, and she walks out as a Divas champion too because she defeated Paige in a glorious victory. I mean, you had to love this match too, right, Evan?
Oh, yeah.
Everybody had to love this match.
It was so funny. It was hilarious. Come on. Twin magic doesn't work at first. Brie reveals, wait, I was just stuffing this.
That makes it work though, because
yes, it does.
I don't think we said it on air because I had to express a bit of restraint. I didn't want to go there, but I mean, the twins are holding back twin magic, if you catch my drift here. So the fact that they picked up off of that, and what was so funny was that was literally the very first thing that Brie did when she lost the match for Nikki. She's like, no, my breasts aren't that big here. No, it was a fluke victory. So that shit was hilarious to me. But I have to say, the entire match was actually a really good match. I thought the match was really good, and that's I know I'm on my whole Nikki bandwagon thing, and September 15th, wonderful, but even outside of that, it was a good match.
It really was. I mean, honestly, it was pretty good, and all credit due to Paige for putting on a good performance as well. I mean, I really think there was multiple spots where I wasn't sure if it was going to be the finish, and then when Brie got pinned, because you kind of had a bad feel. I had a bad feeling as soon as they were doing the twin magic. I'm like, it ain't going to work this time. So watch her lose the title for her sister, and then the fact that the referee knew right away too. She takes the stuff out, and he's like, well, I'm a referee. I've been doing some looking, and I know that you're not the same person, but. So there was no even dispute, and then Nikki comes in and wins. It was great. It was a hilarious way to finish the match. Just great for the heel to win in that manner. I thought that was fantastic. One of the best ways of using twin magic that's even possible. It's something you just didn't expect, so they pulled one out of the hat there. And the match itself actually had some decent quality to it. So as far as I'm concerned, this was good.
Yeah, one big issue that I've had with the WWE Divas over the past few years is that it feels like when they get into the match, they're trying to make sure they don't break a nail or anything like that. They feel like wrestling, you're not supposed to hurt your opponent, but at the very least, you're supposed to make it look like you want to. And they had that quality in this match. I think that if WWE moves forward with booking Divas matches in the way that they booked this one, maybe take away the finish, or definitely take away the finish. It worked here, but we don't need that fuckery all the time. But if they book the matches with that level of importance, and they have them go out there and slug it out and fight in that way that they Paige and Nikki did, I think that they're going to be on a good road. But the issue is, we need some kind of change that goes beyond just booking good matches, because as crazy as it sounds, that's not going to be enough for people. We need some type of visual change to see that things are different in the Divas division. And if we get that visual change, whatever that visual change may be, I guess time will tell. But for now, we're going to go ahead and move on to the next match that we'll be discussing here. Big Show versus Ryback, with Ryback's Intercontinental Championship on the line. Big Show actually wins this match via disqualification because of interference from The Miz. But Ryback, he's still your Intercontinental Champion. And this is actually the third match on the show, and the third match to end with some kind of interference. So at this point in the show, I'm like, okay, some fuckery is going on, and this is I don't know. Like, I don't know why they would book all of these matches in one block on the show and just throw all of this at everyone just subsequently. It was a weird booking decision for me, but what are your thoughts on Big Show versus Ryback?
I was not a big fan of this one. I gotta be honest with you. I completely admit that I said that I personally thought that Big Show and Ryback wasn't really the worst thing because of the fact that, we can play off the whole he has to beat the world's largest athlete story. But then on Raw, they really kind of hurt it for me a lot by having Big Show or Ryback effortlessly lift Big Show and just hit the finish on him. I thought that was supposed to be part of the story, was that he was supposed to have a hard time lifting the Giant, hard time actually overcoming the Giant. Not to make him look like an underdog.
So basically what you're saying is that they gave away the payoff on Raw, so.
Yes, 100%. That is what I am saying. And then this match just really wasn't good, and they were making Miz's involvement feel like it mattered more than the actual championship or the match itself. And the match never really got going, and then this DQ finish just made me say, okay, here comes a triple threat at Battleground or on Raw. I don't even know if it's going to get to Battleground, to be honest with you. But whatever. Or maybe we'll have another title match, and then it's probably going to end up in a triple threat either way. But
yeah,
I'm not really the hugest fan here of this, and I don't know. I just didn't really enjoy it. I can't really say anything that positive about it. I didn't get a whole lot out of it.
Yeah, this wasn't even a match. It was just build up for the next match, which is, very likely going to be that triple threat. So there was no need for this to happen. And it was only 5 minutes long. And one thing, I think Ryback suplex Big Show. That was literally the only highlight that I have of the match. I was like, nah, that was a nice suplex there. So those are my thoughts.
And Big Show KO'd him, and he fell out of the ring, and then more shenanigans happened. So
just to remind you guys, Evan's thoughts on this match, his official review is and mine is nice suplex. So
hey, Ryback, nice suplex there, buddy.
Not nice match, not nice sequence, no. Nice suplex. That's it. So
yeah, and Big Show's spear wasn't too bad, I guess.
He should stop doing that. No, I don't.
Well, I mean, when you have this gigantic person coming at you, it doesn't really have to be a spear. It's kind of just like, here's Big Show, and you will hurt. It will hurt. It will hurt when 400 plus pounds come at you. So,
alrighty. Next up, John Cena versus Kevin Owens. There were some people expressing a little bit of trepidation about this match and a rematch occurring so soon after their previous match that it happened 2 weeks ago at Elimination Chamber. But we get to this match, and I loved every single second of it. Well, not every single second of it, and we'll get there. But this match was fucking awesome, and dare I say, it was even better than the one that they had at Elimination Chamber. But there was a very big difference here. John Cena walked away as the victor. Now, I know I said that in no way at all should John Cena win this match. He actually did, and maybe I'm just too easy because I'm sitting here and I'm like, I'm okay with it. John Cena, I was adamant, John Cena cannot walk. John Cena needs to get his ass kicked once again. But I'm at a point right now where I'm like, okay, I'll take it. I get that match, and I have to get it as John Cena being the winner, okay.
They knew they'd get you because they'd give you an amazing match. So they were like, if you don't like Cena winning, well, watch this match, and then are you going to really care?
And then it's like, if you still care, then you're an asshole. So
right, exactly.
I didn't say this. WWE said it. I just want to put that out there.
Oh, sure. But yeah, wow. This was arguably better than their first match. I feel like they were more comfortable with each other after how great of a chemistry that they showed that they had at the first match. This was great. Excellent stuff. Honestly, so many cool near falls. they were pulling out spots that you weren't expecting, like that John Cena, like modified Canadian destroyer type of sunset flip bomb. God. I was like,
and
what?
I could like notice when it was going on, like technically it didn't go as they planned it, but it still worked in the story because it seemed like a struggle to get to the move. And
yeah,
man,
I'm still not digging the whole middle rope stunner from Cena, but
remember when I said I loved every second of this match? And then I changed it. That's why he needs to get rid of that shit. The first time he used it at WrestleMania, I was like, I'm digging that. Literally every single time after that, I'm like, If I can have one complaint, that would be it. Get rid of that fucking springboard stunner.
Yeah, no, I'm not a big fan of it. But you know what? Some people don't like when, matches have a lot of finishers involved in them, but I personally was completely okay with the fact that there was several finishers from both guys in this match because I think they're both powerhouses, and when there's two powerhouse type of characters, multiple finishers can, like, to me, that's okay because it would take several finishers. It should if they're both like on that level. No, I understand that maybe it was an extra one or two power bombs or an extra AA or two that well there wasn't that many AAs, but there was like four. How many power bombs did Owens hit? Like 3 or 4, I feel like. But regardless, this match was excellent, and Cena winning wasn't exactly what I was hoping for going into it, but I would have predicted John Cena to win and even the score, so to speak. And the main reason for that is because they're building up to the rubber match for Battleground. And I don't know if they're going to extend this into SummerSlam. To be honest, this feud deserves SummerSlam because it's so damn good. Yeah,
whatever you got to do to go ahead and skip Battleground,
I'd be fine with that. Yeah. I'd be okay with that. And honestly, the way that they had Owens beat the crap out of Cena after was freaking genius. Cena wins, shows respect, Owens beats the crap out of him, continues to look amazing. And then the way that they were carrying Cena away, maybe they'll have him be injured enough that he misses Battleground, and then SummerSlam is the title versus title. I feel like they're putting the belts on the line at the last match that they have. They really?
You have to, I think.
Can you not? I mean, can they get away with not putting the titles on the line? Like, I feel like they have to at this point. Each guy has won one match. And it shouldn't be settled at Battleground because that's just a July pay-per-view. You got to settle it at SummerSlam, the big show. Like, that's to me, that's an unbelievable great match for SummerSlam this year. No question about it. And this is where Owens is good. Like, this is where you would be really disappointed if Cena went over because it's where Owens really needs the victory. I think him losing here, not that big of a deal because then it just continues the story on. I don't feel like you have as much of a reason to continue the story if Owens just beats the shit out of Cena twice not beats the shit out of him, but beats Cena 2 consecutive times. It's like, okay, now what? Whereas Cena evening it up and then Owens attacking him after, to me, was genius booking and was even better way to have this happen. So great stuff. That easily the match of the night and the best thing from this pay-per-view.
Yeah, that whole thing with Kevin Owens attacking John Cena after the match, but John, that was your fault. That was just like you were supposed to take that loss and you were supposed to understand I got to step my game up next time around. You clearly did not do your research on Kevin Owens and you don't watch NXT because that guy beat the shit out of his best friend and you extend your hand for him to shake your hand. Like, you know nothing, John Cena. You know nothing. Like, if he beat the shit out of his best friend, you aren't bringing a damn thing to the table. But that aside, one thing that I loved about John Cena in this match is the fact that you saw a lot of new offense from John Cena. And I know I made jokes just a few seconds ago about him not stepping his game up, but he clearly did that in this match because it goes to show that you need to bring something different to the table. If this guy beat you with your normal game plan, bring something different to the table next time around. And we saw that actually did lead him to success. And that's one thing that I've been begging and pleading for WWE to give John Cena over these last few years. Character development. And that was apparent in this match in abundance. And I love that. Like things like the sunset flip and the inverted suplex, all of those things that he was doing, it was just great to see him bring something new to the table and feel like he needed to step his game up with someone like Kevin Owens, who was just a few matches into his main roster career in WWE. And we're heading into I don't know what. Like, it can't be Battleground. Like, do a John Cena injury angle or something like that. Have him, whatever you got to do to make sure that this match doesn't happen at Battleground. Give it a little bit of time to simmer, and then have both of these guys, like, bam, head to head at SummerSlam. Yes.
Have Owens do a open challenge for the title at Battleground or something, like, and then beat somebody. Whatever, like. You can still have Owens look really good going into SummerSlam. Cena's hurt, and has to overcome whatever injury he has, and then boom, there you go. Then you can start to build the SummerSlam. So I mean, they can definitely work around that.
But as far as the whole champion versus champion thing, somebody brings up a very interesting point here. Austin Jones in the chat, Owens is dropping the belt to Balor on the 4th anyway. Yeah, there's no way in hell. I forgot about that. There's no way in hell he's escaping that 4th of July show with that championship. So.
This is very true, and we did not think of this. Okay. All right. Very good point.
So, I mean, hey, United States Championship's still there, so.
Yeah, sure. And might as well put the belt on the line. I mean, there's no reason not to at that point, and have him be the guy to win it, and he could even destroy it and whatever. I don't care what he does at this point, because Owens is that damn good. So whatever. But yes, I think that what's cool about Cena's new offense is the fact that now you're looking at Kevin Owens being a guy to bring this out in John Cena. That means that Kevin Owens is that big of a deal. That's just greatness right there in of itself as a story. So this whole
and that shows that you don't even necessarily have to lose to someone to put them over, because the fact that John Cena felt the need to do that in a match with Kevin Owens, like that means something. So
and I love that Kevin. Yeah, I love that Kevin Owens is as disrespectful as he is, but yet he's not being made to look like a coward. Like, he might walk away from things sometimes, but that's just to get more hate on him, and then he's not afraid to go in the middle of that ring and do whatever he needs to do to win. That's why him winning clean just solidified that point a couple of weeks ago, and then him, yes, losing here, but still giving Cena, everything he's got, evening the score up with Cena winning, it makes, and then still making himself look like a complete badass and jackass at the same time by, kicking the crap out of Cena after the match. So, to me, excellent booking.
Okay, and I'm pretty sure you would consider this excellent booking as well. Primetime Players, new tag team champions. This was the next match here at Money in the Bank. They defeated New Day. They defeated Big E and Kofi Kingston. Let Michael Cole tell it. Still can't tell the difference between the two, but I digress.
One of these days.
Because I'm just sitting here like, dude, Kofi was in a fucking match. The first match of the night, man.
It's like, do you expect Kofi to be like ready to go for this tag title match now? I mean, why would Xavier just be like, you know what, Kofi, you go out there and you have the tag match after you just were in a ladder match, Who cares?
Nobody corrected him or anything. They're just like, let's keep it rolling.
Move on, yeah. This one, I don't know. Like, I'm glad Primetime Players are tag champs, but I don't know. Didn't really give me the moment that I was hoping for with them. I was hoping for I was surprised, though. I will say it did give me a surprising moment. So I'm not gonna say anything negative here. I just I don't know. I was very surprised that the titles changed hands at Money in the Bank. I was expecting maybe next month or something, but hey, PTP finally tag team champions. It's long overdue for them to actually win the titles, because I've always thought that they've been a good team. But I mean, if they keep feuding with New Day, that's good. I think so far Titus O'Neil is just continuing to prove that he is really great. I really think Titus O'Neil is. I think Titus O'Neil is truly good. Like, I really do. And not only does he have a good look to him, he has something that the crowd can actually get behind. And I don't know, he's got a good powerhouse ability to him. I think Primetime Players just blend really well. And it's good that they're champs, but I don't know, I was kind of expecting a bigger moment for them here. I would have rather seen New Day kind of get the sneaky victory and continue the feud on with them instead.
Yeah, I feel like when this match ended, it was just getting started. Like, you had Big E dive to the outside and all of the stuff that was going on in the ring. I felt like that was the point where the match started to pick up, and before I knew it, the match was over with. And I think it's great that the Primetime Players won, but besides that, there's nothing really to latch on to in this match, and shit, that's it. Congratulations to the primetime players.
If you asked me to name like 5 spots from this match, I'm like, what? I mean, honestly, it just just flew by, you know, and you're like, oh yeah, there we go, that's it. I was very surprised when Woods didn't kick out. I really was, or there wasn't a breakup of the pinfall, or Big E didn't drag him out of the ring, or try to put his hand on the rope or do something to get involved. So that's why I was kind of hoping for the sneaky win to, you know, continue the build up with New Day. I wish the match was a little longer than what it was. It was definitely quick. And, you know, just give primetime players a bigger moment. Make it look like they had more obstacles to overcome to win the belts. I had no problem with primetime players winning the titles from New Day. I had no issue with that whatsoever. I just would have rather seen it be maybe a little more time before they did so. But
yeah, and Orbits is in the chat right now saying they had to save time for the 35-minute main event. Yeah, so here we go. Yeah. This main event of Money in the Bank. Seth Rollins versus Dean Ambrose with the WWE World Heavyweight Championship on the line in a ladder match. So the setup that we got for this match is Seth Rollins being all on his own. Seth Rollins being authorityless. His support system in WWE is gone. He was going to go into this match alone and see if he could actually come away with the victory. And that he did. So Seth Rollins is still your WWE World Heavyweight Champion, and according to him, the greatest WWE World Heavyweight Champion of all time. I guess we can leave that alone. We could let him think what he wants to think on that regard, but what do you think about how all of this turned out in this match?
I am glad Rollins got a victory on his own. That is very nice. There's no question about that in my mind.
Do I sense a however or a but coming?
Not really. I don't know. I liked this match. I did. And one element to it that I really enjoyed was the fact that Ambrose continued to get up, and Rollins was not even like worried about winning at that point. He was just worried about keeping Ambrose down so the victory would be secured, and burying him under the ladder, and you know, throwing all the chairs at him and power bombing him into the barricade twice and then onto the ladder with the chairs. I thought that was cool and a good story element to me. I think Rollins finally started to act a little more like an architect here in this match, because he was actually trying to strategically take Ambrose out so he could win the match, instead of, you know, pampering around and you know, looking stupid as they've kind of made him look at a lot of times. And I'm so glad that nobody was involved in this. Another thing I really liked was Triple H pumping him up before the match. I thought that was really cool. So I would say this is probably the best moment of Rollins' title reign since he's won. You know, because he actually was made to look like he could get the victory on his own. And that is really important to me here.
See, here's the thing. You talk about how he was an architect in this match, and I think that was WWE's intention, to book him in that way and to make it seem as if he could do this all on his own. But when you talk about the strategy and things like that, is that nullified with the way that the match ended? Because I look at that match and I look at Seth Rollins doing everything in his power to strategize, keep Dean Ambrose down, and then the finish of the fucking match, it ended by chance. Like, both of them are on top of the ladder struggling over the championship, and I think the story that they were selling at the announce table was Dean Ambrose hit the mat with more force than Seth Rollins did, so he lost his grip on the championship. So after all of that strategy from Seth Rollins, after Seth Rollins displaying signs of being an architect, the match doesn't even end by way of his strategy. It ends with a fucking bump on the mat. And that didn't make any sense to me, because I sit here and I look at Dean Ambrose and I get it. We like Dean Ambrose. It's clear that the creative team likes Dean Ambrose. It is clear that the creative team likes Dean Ambrose as well, but I don't understand this mindset that they have where they felt the need to protect him in this situation when you're attempting to sell a story with the WWE World Heavyweight fucking Champion. And the fact that the match ended in the way that it did, if it even had the slightest chance of nullifying the story that you attempted to tell with Seth Rollins, why would you go with that ending? It didn't make any sense to me, the fact that you were sitting here attempting to protect Seth Rollins attempting to protect Dean Ambrose when the story should have been Seth Rollins. I don't get it.
I think that's a fair point. Again, this is classic. We have to make it so that Dean Ambrose doesn't look weak with losing.
Why?
Hey, don't ask me. I ain't the guy. I did not make this decision, but it's unfortunate that that's the way that it ended to me as well, because of the fact that the story should have just been focused on Rollins. But I don't really have as much of an issue with it as you do, because of the fact that what I liked here is the fact that Rollins still got the win. I know it was by chance, but he still did get it. He still did come away with the title. Even if there was like a scramble for it, he did come down with it, and there was no BS. Either way, I enjoyed this match. I did. At its face value for what it was, I enjoyed this main event, and it had moments of a couple of dry spells where you're just like, yep, okay, there's a couple of minutes, definitely did. Let's not just sell this match as like, oh my god, every second was amazing. But it's not like I expected that. I don't think anybody should. But they hit the big spots they needed to. That back body drop onto the ladder from Ambrose to Rollins was an amazing spot, for example. Like they definitely hit all the major points they needed to hit. And like I said, that story was really well told with Rollins looking like an architect. But I do think you make a fair point. You do make a fair point when it's like Ambrose kind of just busts out of everything that Rollins had buried him with. And it's just like, yeah, here I am. And it's like, he was already playing the whole bad knee thing and everything. So it was kind of, at that point, it would have made more sense to have had Ambrose actually stay down. But again, this was clear. The clear booking to me is just that what they're trying to do is make it so that Ambrose does not look too weak in the finish, and that if he had happened to catch the championship, that he would have won. They want to just make it look like it was a close call. But Rollins still at least did get the win on his own, and that is the biggest highlight I got to take away. And I still have to circle and star that and say, thank God they actually did that, because that was so huge to me here at Money in the Bank. Now, does that necessarily mean that he is going to continue to get this type of, feeling? I'm not so sure. But one thing that, popped into my mind was, what if, because we all know that, Triple H and Sheamus have a good relationship, so to say. What if there was some type of thing that went on where Triple H ended up kind of kicking Rollins to the curb and put Sheamus in as his new right-hand man in the Authority?
No. Hell no.
I'm not saying it's a great idea. I'm just saying, what do you think of that possibility as a potential for happening?
See, I understand the whole relationship between Triple H and Sheamus off screen, but I don't feel as if they've established that on air. And I think that Sheamus is great at what he does on his own. And one of the reasons why I'm sitting here bitching about Seth Rollins is the fact that he's been with the Authority and they are kind of overshadowing him. I'll acknowledge the fact that they did provide him with a great platform, but it's at some point where it's like, the little birdie has to leave the nest and fly away on his own power. And no. Sheamus, I like what Sheamus is doing on his own. I don't want to see it.
Yeah, again, I'm not necessarily saying that's what I want. I'm just saying that the possibility came into my mind after Sheamus won Money in the Bank tonight. It definitely made me a little like, what if they did that? That would be
well, you do have
else.
to wonder, how are they going to incorporate Sheamus into everything that's going on in the main event scene? Because there is a guy who's angling for a comeback literally any day now. And there's a lot of shit going on. You got all of the stuff that's building and bubbling under the surface with the Shield, and then Brock Lesnar. You have to wonder, how does Sheamus fit into that? So I understand why you would ask that question, because it's like, we got to find some kind of way for it to make sense to have Sheamus involved in this, but
I don't know. I mean,
I don't know.
It's kind of weird, too, because Sheamus goes from just 2 weeks ago fighting for the Intercontinental Championship and losing to Ryback to now winning Money in the Bank. So it is kind of a really weird... like, that's why Sheamus was, like, my second pick, but it was, you know, in the background. It like, my really only focus for this match was Roman Reigns to win Money in the Bank this time. And that's because Roman Reigns is, like, a lot better positioned for the main event than Sheamus is. And that's not to say that Roman Reigns is better than Sheamus. Again, like, I feel like people misinterpret what I'm saying here. Plain and simple, Roman Reigns is more in line for a world championship right now. He won the Royal Rumble this year, and he's actually been in title matches, and he's been around the main event, even if he hasn't been in the title matches. He's still around the main event, whereas Sheamus is going from, you know, kind of just coming back from the injury, being this massive heel, looking like he's going for the IC title. I thought he was going to win the IC title a couple weeks ago, and then here you go, now he's Money in the Bank winner. That's not a bad thing. It's just, does he feel like he's really, you know, ready to be incorporated into this? We've seen some of the wonderful booking of some of the past Money in the Bank winners, so I'm not sure if it's going to be great or not, but I think Sheamus will be booked fairly well here as Money in the Bank holder. I don't think it would be as poor as, say, like a Daniel Bryan, who, you know, was losing matches clean with the Money in the Bank briefcase, you know, a few years ago, or Dolph Ziggler as well. So I have a good thought with Sheamus, you know, as Money in the Bank. I'm not upset about it. I'm just, like, leery, I guess you could say. And that's kind of how I am with the whole, you know, Wyatt and Reigns thing as well. So I guess we'll see how they incorporate him. But I'm not going to give up on that whole him taking Rollins' spot. I don't know. For some reason, I feel like that is a possibility. But then again, with Lesnar coming back into the picture, things will no question get really interesting as the summer goes on. So, you know, good possibilities, I feel. Hopefully they go as well as they can.
I want to go to a comment here from Dalton. Speaking of Seth Rollins and the Authority, he's in the chat right now. I don't see how this is supposed to restore the Authority's trust in Rollins with this type of ending. The only way it works is if you ignore the ending. That's literally the only way it works, because how many matches have we seen where someone has gone into the match and completely dominated their opponent, and at the end, just whatever happens and that opponent ends up winning the match? So it's like you kick this guy's ass for 99% of the match, but in that 1% that comes at the end, they win. Like, do you then sit there and say, okay, that was a great dominant performance? No, because the match didn't end in the way that you wanted it to. Now, that doesn't perfectly translate over to Seth Rollins, because he actually did end the match, but the match, he actually did win the match. But for the match to end in chance, that was not a defiant victory for Seth Rollins. So, I mean, I think this is a situation where WWE just couldn't get out of their own way. They tried to do too much at one time and didn't put that laser focus. Okay, do we want to make sure Dean Ambrose doesn't look too weak coming out of this loss? Or do we want Seth Rollins to look strong and to push forward, you know, saying that he did this on his own and he had a defiant victory? They couldn't decide to do one or the other, so they just went with both, and I think that you lost something in the process. It's like playing a zero-sum game where shit, you're just trading off anything. You're not gaining anything in the end. You're just trading one for another.
Yeah, you know, another thing that I think about here as well is the fact that I just don't know who Rollins is going to face at Battleground. Like, are they going to just have Lesnar, you know, fight him at Battleground, or are they going to save it for SummerSlam like you would imagine they would do? Like, who is going to face Rollins in this July pay-per-view here? Like, I almost feel like they wanted to make sure that Ambrose didn't look too weak in that way either. So it was like, oh, this gives an opportunity for Ambrose to get one more shot at Rollins before we, you know, give him... I'm just saying, man.
God, no more, please.
I
Please,
agree.
No more.
I agree, man. I do, but you know, again, who is he going to face? Someone said that in the chat earlier, and that's what's made me want to go off on this for a second, because really, who does he face next? I mean, unless it's going to be Kane, which is not exactly something I'm gonna be like that excited for. I mean, it is different, but is it really something you want? I know it's not something I particularly want. I'm going to be honest here, and not really a huge like proponent of Kane versus Seth Rollins here for the title. Doesn't really, kind of comes out of left field. So
yeah, we got a while to discuss this. As far as Money in the Bank goes, I actually did kind of like this match, but it's just so weird because I feel it feels weird for me to sit here and say that a lot of what they were going through in this match felt like it wasn't earned, because I know who Dean Ambrose is, I know who Seth Rollins is, and I know who they are to each other. But I looked at a lot of the action and I felt as if it was just I didn't have a connection to it. And to know who they are and to know their histories in WWE, you had to experience a lot of colossal fuck-ups to the point where I sit here and say that brutal action, hardcore action between Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins is unearned. And I feel like that's the position I was in this match. Like, I didn't have much of a connection to what was going on. But I will say, nice power bombs on the barricade, Seth. That shit was awesome. That was. So
that was awesome. Very cool.
Let's go ahead and wrap up our review of Money in the Bank 2015. Do we even have to ask what the match of the night was? We don't. No. Of course, Nikki Bella versus Paige for the Divas Championship.
I see what you did there.
But yeah, of course, Kevin Owens versus John Cena.
Yes. Not even a question.
Worst
IC title.
Yeah, that wasn't even a damn match. That was a segment.
I know. That was just like,
for the next
whoa,
pay-per-view.
Pretty much.
Overall thoughts on the show?
I mean, it had moments of good things, but I don't know. It was just kind of a middle of the road type of show. It was all right. I'm not gonna say it was a bad show because it was not. Money in the Bank match, not great, but it was all right. It was decent, but it wasn't as good as other Money in the Banks in the past. Main event, good match, good spots. Questionable finish, but overall, at least it did what it needed to do, as far as I'm concerned. Divas match was above expectation. Kevin Owens and John Cena was unbelievable. Tag match, I felt like I didn't get anything out of, so it's not really the moment that you want for primetime players to win the belts. And the IC title was just yeah. And King Barrett in the pre-show did once again lose to R-Truth, BTW.
God. I read that and I was like, this didn't happen. Like, they're trolling us right now. That's all it could possibly be.
Yep, Truth put on the crown and everything, so King Ron.
You know what? It's about time we end this show before I get pissed off all the I'd like to thank you guys for tuning in to this episode of PWF Empire Live. We will be back on our regularly scheduled night of Wednesday, 9 p.m. Eastern Time. Thank the Lord that we're out of this stretch of pay-per-views, 2 weeks, in between, because I get a little time to rest, and we actually get to do our show on Wednesday for more than 1 week at a time. Because, we've been on Wednesday, then Monday, then Sunday, then Wednesday, then Monday, then Sunday. We're back on Wednesday for the next few weeks, and this is I can't wait to meet you on Wednesday.
Hell of a schedule. It's been a hell of a schedule.
Yes. God, Lord.
Yep.
Man.
No doubt about that.
I mean, we sit here and if we get two Kevin Owens matches out of all of that, two Kevin Owens and John Cena matches, got to remember that guy's in there too. I think it was worth it. Yeah, it was worth it.
Yeah, ultimately.
Okay. I'd like to thank you guys for tuning in once again, and we'll catch you on the flip side. Till then, peace out.